Okay, so this is the back end. This is the dashboard of national speakers, and Andrew has editorial rights. Elias as, gee, and I just realized I'm not sure whether I've actually taken you up to the right membership level now that you've increased your status. Let me just see. But as Auckland, so anybody who logs in as Auckland, you have to have enough rights to actually get to the next position, kind of thing. So what has to happen is that so I've just made you an editor, Elias, into your own right, but as Auckland president, you have administrative rights, which means you can do just about everything on the website.
Awesome.
Does that make sense? Still need to check whether I've moved you to member yet, but I hadn't. Let's do it right now. See how easy it is to get in and change things? Now again, this is where anybody would go, and there is actually an URL that says if you go to your profile, you can upgrade your profile. And so Elias, you've done a remarkable job of filling in all the details. Now, if we can get everybody else to do that, that would be really cool. Okay. Okay, so on the events tab here, you can take and you can go to the events. Now at the moment, there is no event showing because of the fact that all the events are past events. But we can go into any past event. And what we can do is pull up a past event, because it's actually easier if you, well, that's an interesting, Orality in James Joyce's conference. Well, that's definitely not one of ours. Okay, so we want, let's take How to Find Your Goldilocks Zone. Okay, so you can take any one of those and you can actually look at it, or you can just straight duplicate it. So right now, this is what it came up as. And the reason I love WordPress is because, of course, if you can use Word, you can use WordPress. My system seems a little slow today. I've been having some interesting challenges with passwords and whatnot, so I'm not sure how fast this is going to work. One of the things we don't want to do is take down any past event. We want to try and keep the event there and allow ourselves to see it. Okay, so there's the event coming up. Now, if I go back over here, I can duplicate this event. And what the duplication allows me to do is then keep the old data, but create the new data for the future. Okay, so we're going to duplicate the event, and now I'm going to open it. And it saved it as a draft. And you can create like 12 months out if you want. Okay, so now Elias, you sent me a bunch of stuff yesterday. Okay, so we've got the November meeting copy. Why? Okay, so we now go in here, and because you've written it up in a Word, we can just go in and go change. And because we want to take all of this out, but we want to be careful here because we've got our sponsors, so we don't want to take them out. So we'll leave the sponsors in, and we'll come back to our Word document and just go copy. Now with this, there's not going to be any pictures, right? Elias?
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, I sent you a whole lot of pictures as potential pictures, so we can look at maybe adding 1 or 2 of those.
Okay. So again, did you see that I opened the button that said put in a Word document here? And I put it in a Word document. What it does is it gets rid of the HTML behind the Word document so that it puts it into the format properly. Now if your screen does this, and mine's been doing this, so all I do is I go up here to Screen Options and I say just make it 1 column. And that way I don't have that fall over problem. It prints fine, but it just gives me a wee bit of a problem sometimes. Okay.
So can you just repeat what you said there about the 1 column?
Okay, so if I generally have it set on 2 columns, but what was happening is it was bleeding off the edge of the page here. So if that's happening and it's annoying, you just open the Screen Options and click 1 column. And then it sits very nicely within the page. All that stuff that was in the 2 columns is down below. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so now we've got a whole bunch of pictures in here. And I guess the question is, what picture would you like? Added to this? I don't know. I actually think Minty's would be really good if we had a Minty.
That's a possibility. We can go try and get a picture of that. We can take a picture of a Minty. I think the picture of the kid looking with the pile of books and the apple.
This one?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So what we want to do now is we determine where in the copy we want it. So let's say we want it there. And I go up here and I go Add Media. And I'm going to upload the file. So just click the Upload Media, select File. And then, because I had this in a folder called Training, I'm going to just take that one and it will upload it quite quickly, as well as anything else that I've already uploaded. And then we can say, well, okay, fine. Do we want it on the right side or the left side? So I'm saying left side right now, and I want it as a thumbnail. And I just click Insert. And we got them. Now we can put anything else in here that we want. Now usually
can I just ask a question?
Of course you can.
Yeah, so when you just added that image across there, I saw how you added that, put it to the left. Now sometimes if you look at, for example, working with MailChimp, sometimes when you put an image in there, it bleeds all of the copy onto the image. So you have to sometimes buffer the image, you know, an extra 10 pixels or 20 pixels, etc.
I don't have the same problem with WordPress.
Okay, good.
I do if I put a if I put a headline underneath the picture, I do have that problem.
Yep.
But generally, I don't have that problem. Now again, I haven't done any of the fancy stuff like, you know, I can make that bold. I can change the font size. I could change the color. And if I don't like that, I just click the undo button. As I said, it's almost like as long as you can use Word, it's very, very similar in terms of how you do and undo things.
Awesome.
And again, that's part of why I love WordPress. It's not quite idiot-proof, but close. Okay, so you might want in here to put in something about, you know, who the MC will be or anything else. But at any stage of the game, you can just click on this event. So I'll save it in a few minutes, and then you can click on the event, and you can go in and edit it at any time. Okay? So now we want to make sure that the event, the when of the event is correct. So we just click down here, and we go November. And the date of it is November 26th. So we make sure that field is there. We start at 7 and we finish about 9:15. Now if we were putting an event for a different day and at a different time, we just need to make sure that this field has been changed. because the event won't post unless this is actually there. Make sense?
Yep.
This is probably the one thing that right at the beginning of using this, I had the most problem understanding. This is critical to post the event. At any stage of the game, I can save it so that it's actually there, and I save it as a draft in the first place until I'm actually ready to publish it.
So in this particular case, Roberta and Andrew, we haven't yet selected an MC.
Yep.
And we are looking for people to be nominated to come along and share Minty Moments.
Yep.
So would you recommend, in this instance, that we publish that we're looking for an MC, or
I do that in the newsletter, not on the page.
Okay, great. Good to know.
Okay, but I mean, you know, again, you can do it whatever way you want. Okay, so it's at Waipuna, but if we had a different venue, we'd just either change that. So let's say, you know, we were going to do a different venue. We'd save the event, and then we wanted a different venue. You have to go back up here to the events and add a new location.
Yep.
Okay? Now, at any stage of the game, if you see things have moved, shifted, you don't like the way they are, you just go back in and edit it. Sometimes when it saves it, saves, and you just need to make sure that you like the looks of it before you finally walk away and publish to the newsletter. People don't see that this has been posted until it's been posted. Okay, so now down here we have the ticket sales. So we have first-time guests, $20. And you'll notice it has available spaces, so we're saying that there's only 10 available spaces for this event. Problem, though, is we have no start and end date for the sale. So we need to, why is it not letting me? We can put in there. This is for guests of members coming for the first time to an NSNZ event. Don't know why it's not putting my start and end dates in there. That's why. So we can make it available from today and close it off. We can close off guests the day before the event, the same day, whatever we want. Okay?
Yep.
It's available for everyone. Now, there are limits here because you can, and then one of the things, Elias, that you and I were talking about is the fact that we want to start getting people to log in. So this one should only be available for guest users. So they have to create a guest account, and that way we capture things like name, email, and phone number.
Yep.
Okay? Member NSA, it's that we want to, now one of the things that it says here, it's logged in users, and this is why so many people are having problems, because they're not logged in. And if you don't log in, you cannot see this pricing. It's actually one of the things that I need to watch with this one, is because I've said they're logged in guests. So it might just pay to leave that one as everyone. Otherwise, they won't see it. Returning guest at 45, sister organizations at 30. It's all come up. Now, what we haven't done is created a returning visitor, third plus visit. If you have attended more than 2 events as a guest and not yet decided to become a member, this is the booking needed. Now again, any of this you can change, you can alter whatever. This used to be 75. Elias, you need to make a decision whether you want it to stay at 75.
Have you had any previously registered at 75?
Yes, and we've never had a knockback.
Then I say carry on.
Okay. So now we have the ticket prices there. We could do anything we want down here. I can't be bothered doing anything down there. So now we go back up. We know we've got the event in here. We could put a line in here, speakers. Just have to remember, and MC to be announced. Okay? So we could, and I mean, you can fancy this up any way you want. You can make it look really good. You can do all kinds of different things with it.
So I'm going to make an assumption here, Roberta. It's a very simple statement. Once we publish this, we can go back in and then re-edit it once it's live. Yeah,
yep.
That's okay.
Okay, so now all I'm going to do is hit publish. And until it's published, you haven't got the link. But once you've got the link, you can do whatever. Okay, so now I can go in and I can view that post. When I view the post, that gives me my link. There's Memorable Minty Moments, there's the event, there's the time. The bookings are closed right now because we haven't opened them. They don't open until tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
And that'll change automatically once tomorrow
That'll change
comes.
automatically with the time. But again, it's, you know, understanding when this opens. So if we actually go back to the event, we haven't, because again, remember this is in the States, so the 31st hasn't come yet. And you can always tell where it is because you see it's published on the October the 30th.
Yep.
And we set all the dates for the 31st. Okay? So we could have made it live by just changing those dates.
Just a question for you, Roberta. Is there a setting somewhere in our admin on WordPress to allocate this account or this website to New Zealand time zone?
Perhaps I don't know. I haven't paid attention to it, but I will look. One thing I just realized, we have got to make sure that we change down here. We need to make sure we change the booking on each of the
Tickets.
So that what we actually do is the tickets have to be set for the right date, because right now they're set for the wrong date.
Yep, because it was duplicated from last month.
Yeah. So, you know, when you're duplicating for January, and what I'm going to say is, you know, go off and try January's. If you have a problem, now that you know the basics, you've got the copy, you can create that at any stage of the game. Just go through and do it yourself, because there's nothing like doing it yourself to actually learn how to do it.
So can I just go back and ask another question?
Of course.
If I log into the National Speakers website under my own login,
Under Elias, yes.
Yep. Do I have the ability under that login to make any modifications to any copy or text, or do I have to log in as the Auckland chapter?
As editor, you can actually edit this, because Andrew, you could edit anything, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So editor gives you the ability to edit anything on this page and anything on, because there's a couple of pages you need to keep an eye on, and one of them is, so up here we have pages. That should give me a thingy that says, So you've got a number of pages that are Auckland related, and you can say on here anything you want. Welcome to Auckland chapter. So I just took David Nottingh's name out, but you need to look at whether you want that to say something different. Put your own personality and put the stamp of where you want to go this year.
Definitely.
And you can, as I said, you can edit. I think your picture needs to be in here because it isn't right now. And you just tweak it up like that. The other page that I alter on a regular basis is who's on the committees, and just add and subtract people. Okay? But yeah, I'd stick my picture in here and go from there. And this is where people subscribe to the MailChimp list as well.
Awesome.
Okay? But yeah, I mean, you've got a direction and whatnot. Just make that yours. Claim it.
Okay.
Okay? So now if I go back to the events page, just doing a little bit of jumping here. Wish this wasn't so slow this morning. It's obviously, okay, so now the page is live. And you've got the URL, you've got anything, you can go in and edit it anytime you want and make it look whatever way you want. Now, we haven't done an awful lot with keywords and everything else yet, solely because of the fact that we've been trying to keep this kind of closed and in-house, but it is possible to actually take and change and move some things so that we can start using keywords. So that's the thingy. We can then view the event. And it's live. It's done. That's how fast and easy it is.
Yep.
What did you say, Elias?
So when you say you've been trying to keep it in-house, but you could open it up, we could attract more guests,
yep,
which could potentially become members.
Yep. But again, it's a matter of us having confidence in all the system. I mean, we've got subscribers right now, but we haven't got an awful lot of others that are there. Okay,
so
now
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You know when you're in the edit mode, let's say you've got the events in the edit mode. I know in Squarespace, you'll have the same, I'm sure, in WordPress. If you wanted to make a link to an external website, you just highlight that particular copy and then add the link.
Answer the
now,
question.
when you're adding the link, yep. So can you, instead of adding a link to a website, I see you've got the link to existing content.
Yep.
Or do you have an ability to do a link to an email? So you say,
yeah, you just put it in and mail to blah blah blah, the address, question mark subject. Yeah.
Excellent.
Absolutely. It's there in a number of different cases.
Fantastic.
Okay, but yeah, so you know, you wanted to link to something within the thing. Absolutely, you can link.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So, and anytime you've made a change, you just need to make sure you update it, because if you try and do anything else, this is the message you get. So if you've made a change, haven't saved it, then WordPress kind of goes, "Well, do you really mean that?"
Yep.
Okay. Now, remember I said that one of the things that I'd love to see happen with Auckland and all those wonderful photos you took, we come in here and post, and I will make the suggestion at the next meeting. Come in here and post, and you add a new post. And I did get your message about 5 things. And you just put in here, report Auckland event or the Goldilocks zone. And then you put the pictures in and you do whatever in here. And somebody just writes up a brief report on what happened.
So once we've done that, do you push the publish button?
Yep.
If you have a guest person, let's say, I don't know, Linda Guiri comes along, she wants to put a blog post, she can go into her profile, add a new entry.
Okay,
And then
Linda,
she can
because
push
she's a member, can post at any stage of the game.
Okay, so members can post. Let's say we've got a new person who's just joined on board, got their profile, they're not a member, professional member, whatever. If they post something, there's obviously an ability, I think you said before, Roberta, for somebody to approve that and get it all going.
It gets held.
Yep.
What I need to actually do is somehow remind people that if they post, so I mean I can see what's been published here, but if they post and I haven't, you know, I need to go through here on a regular basis. I've got a number of things I go through on a regular basis just to make sure that they have been actually published. But there was one a while ago that hadn't been published. So I went through, I read it, made sure it fit, made sure that everything was fine, made sure they were a member, and then I published it for them. So it saves as draft because they don't have permission to publish it.
Now, one of the things I'm going to ask both yourself and Andrew,
Yep.
is it better for us to have different people publishing, even if they might not have written the article, as opposed to one person all the time?
That's a good question. What's your thoughts, Andrew?
So that's moderating what goes on there, you mean?
No. What I'm thinking, let's say we want to put about 3 or 4 different articles out there. As opposed to it all coming from Roberta or from you or from me, let's say, Andrew, you've written all the articles, and you can sit there and publish them all yourself. So it says Andrew Fleming, Andrew Fleming, Andrew Fleming. Are we better off saying, hey, can you post this in your name, Roberta, and then Ellis, can you post that in your name, just so it seems as if we are sharing this amongst more people, as opposed to only one person who seems to have the monopoly on all posts.
Well, you see, we've got an awful lot of admins, which is a real pain. I'd love to see a lot of people in here posting.
Yeah.
But again, I think
just
somebody's prolific, they should post.
Because one of the things that I think you've already got the using the website benefits for your business, which is a great post. And I've said about the 5 features and benefits as well, so we can just do 5 things you don't know about the website. So again, to reinforce this, I want to reference these different web posts. Now, once you post it, if you post a new one, presumably that goes up to the very top on the blogs. So notice that they'll come up there on a regular basis. If then somebody else posts, you know, a minute after you, does that mean that your post goes down, or can you pin any posts up at the top?
The latest post always goes to the top unless it's sticky.
Okay.
And I'm
So
one
how
of
do you make something
administrators
sticky?
are the only ones that can make a post sticky, which means it keeps
Okay.
it at the top.
What does sticky mean, Roberta?
Sticky means that it stays at the top of the list of posts.
Okay.
So, I mean, right now we're sitting at 34. We've got 3 of them sticky. And they're really, well, that one actually I can take off of being sticky because the AGM's over. And I can actually take that one off of being sticky too.
So can you just show us again how you did that?
See this little button here? It says make this post sticky?
Yep.
No, I can't see.
Okay. So this is the announcing the Quick Hall of Fame. I can edit the whole thing or I can just do a quick edit.
Okay.
And there's a little button
now I see
over
it.
here that says makes this post sticky.
Yep.
And I've just unticked it because these are past events that I had sticky, but I don't want them sticky anymore.
Yep.
So go back in, if I can, into one of those, like the AGM notification. Now when you're in there, I noticed that it had the list of who produced that or who published it, and it had admin with like a drop-down menu.
Somebody's got feedback going. So it was produced by me under my admin login.
So go to quick edit on that. See where it says author,
Yeah.
and that drop-down menu, you can then allocate anything that you've done to
Yeah,
somebody else.
basically.
Excellent. That's a great feature. So if, for argument's sake, I say, hey, Phil, here's a little article, I'd love to have it out there, and he says, yep, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
If one of us has the admin rights, we can post it there and just allocate it to Bill.
Yep.
Does that make sense,
Yep.
Andrew?
Yep, that does.
Now the other thing we can do is on any post you can make it only available to members. And one of the things I want us to do is start making more and more just available to members. So it can be featured or it can be member only. As I said, I haven't been using the SEO, but you see here I can just select the member levels that can actually see it.
Yep.
And again, one of the things with the member thing and Elias, as Auckland, you have complete access to this. And what that takes you to is the dashboard, which then allows you to see everything around members.
So previously, Roberta, I had a framework that gave me access to MailChimp and gave me access to the dashboard. Now when I clicked on either link, I literally went straight into MailChimp and it was already in,
Yep.
the account. One thing I need to do is separately probably grab the email address and login, password for MailChimp, so I know how to get in that separately. And secondly,
It's Auckland at nationalspeakers.org.nz.
hold on a second, let me make sure I write this down properly.
Most of your admin passwords come under Auckland at nationalspeakers.org.nz, Elias. That's
Yep.
like what we've done is we've said to the president, you have this access under the email address, or the email address that links to that account is Auckland at nationalspeakers.org.nz. And as I said yesterday, that email address is now directed to your Elias at eliascanaris.com.
Awesome. And then if you look at the admin passwords to give me access to MailChimp, for example, maybe you want to just email that to me so we don't have this forever on the recording. But is there a separate one also that I'll need when I get into the dashboard for WordPress, or just carry on going in there as
No, it's
myself?
a separate one.
Okay.
You're better off if you come in as Auckland, because if you're in as Auckland, then you're coming in as the Auckland president.
Yeah.
And what we really want to do is create this almost seamless transition period, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the reset password for Auckland.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay? And that way you can
Brilliant.
set the password that gets you into Auckland at any stage of the game. Now, if you lose that, you're going to have to come back to me. But at this stage of the game, that just gives you access as administrator.
Well, I really appreciate that. And I know that we only allocated half an hour for this particular call. Andrew, question from you. Is there anything else you need to know? You probably know this better than I do in terms of WordPress, etc. Is there anything else you need to know whilst we have Roberta on the line?
I don't think so. That all makes good sense to me.
Okay.
Awesome. Roberta, is there anything else you think is very important for either Andrew or myself to learn or to know at this moment in time?
No, I think it's very much a case of you need to get in there and do it. And then as you have problems, you come back to me.
Awesome. Look, I really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to help out. And yeah, I'm here if you do have a problem.
And you've recorded this